You're watching WJLA 24/7 News. Good Morning Washington. On your side.
Well, the Washington Post is reporting White House officials tried to pressure U.S. immigration authorities to release migrants detained at the border into sanctuary cities as retaliation against the president's political foes. We bring in political insider Armstrong Williams right now to discuss this and much more. Good to see you, Armstrong.
Good morning.
So this is an interesting story, and the proposal would have targeted sanctuary cities like House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's district in San Francisco. What's your take on all of this?
It was only a suggestion as things worked through a bureaucracy that had no chance of gaining any kind of traction. But I do find this interesting. If you're like Pelosi and her Democrats who thinks that bringing these immigrants and these illegals over are such a wonderful thing and that's who we are as immigrants, why not welcome them in your district? Why not, if that's what you believe, bring them in. If your constituency embrace your rhetoric about it, bring them in your district. Find them a place. Find them a sanctuary. You know, I don't agree with using it, weaponize it as a political weapon, but if that's how you feel, show your love for these people. That's where your heart is. I don't see anything wrong with that. They should volunteer to do this, especially if my city doesn't want them. Then you should respect that too. But if there are other members of Congress who are willing to not only talk the talk, but also in substance have them in their neighborhoods, go for it. That's how I see it.
Well, the Department of Homeland Security nixed the idea, as you mentioned, back in November. But this week we saw sweeping changes at DHS. The top management, Kirstjen Nielsen, others, shown the door in a huge house cleaning of sorts. Is a new, harder line coming in to replace them?
It's Trump. He's difficult to work for. She was mean, but she was not mean enough. She was tough, but she was not tough enough. And obviously you get to a point where you respect the president, you enjoy working with the president, you like the prestige of the office, and you said, you know what, I just can't take this anymore. Didn't you see the relief on her face? The fact that she was glad that it was over. Can you imagine the intensity of what it was, having the president call and sometimes yell at you because you did not go far enough? I mean, that gets to be old and tiresome. You want to have a real life that you can really enjoy at some point.
We hear some of those meetings were very tense.
Yes,
but interesting that she went before the cameras after she was let go and was very supportive of the president and still maintained that she agrees with him on his holding the numbers down at the border.
Do you think she really wants him tweeting about her like he's tweeted about others in the past? She's a professional. She wants to make sure that it does not short-circuit her career going forward. She wants to have a normal life without any distraction. She did the professional thing, and she should remain loyal to him because she did serve him in that capacity as DHS Secretary.
All right, I want to move to WikiLeaks and the founder, Julian Assange, after 7 years of being holed up in that Ecuadorian embassy in London, finally arrested. Ecuador decided they were no longer going to provide asylum for him. Is this all about First Amendment, really, issues when you're talking about the U.S. wanting to get their hands on him?
You know, listen, Melanie, you and I and others in this field should be very concerned. I know in my own career, I have pursued sources to get information that I wanted to take the story and break. I mean, that's a part of our journalistic, as far as I'm concerned, responsibility to get a news reported to the public. The only thing that Assange did was he tried to assist in cracking the code. It's not successful. And I think, and I'm glad it was very limited in what they charged them for the computer hacking. And they were very careful not to infringe into the area of freedom of press. So I'm still trying to figure out what it is that Julian Assange, and I understand has done that is so outrageous that any reporter, anybody in the press would not have done the same, given the same opportunity.
I guess everybody's so tense about cybersecurity. What does this case teach us about securing our space when we're on the internet?
It teaches us that we're all an open book. That's what it teaches us. When we sign up for these social medias, when we give out information to these cold callers, these robocalls that people make, we open ourselves up. And Julian Assange found something, and I guess he's paying a price for it. I mean, did you see the image of it?
So is he hero or is he scourge of the earth?
He's neither. He is a journalist who's determined on breaking stories out in the government, revealing the kinds of things that the government is doing that is clandestine, that they don't want us to know about. We've had Julian Assange all throughout our history. Probably not on this level because, like you said, cybersecurity in the digital space is quite different. It's a different beast that we're still trying to understand.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. I know you have to run off. You've got an important meeting with Mayor Bowser.
No. I'm speaking at her Emancipation Proclamation breakfast this morning over at the Willard Hotel, and I'm looking forward to it. And thank you for mentioning that.
Good luck with that, and we'll see you in a week.
Yes, you will.
Armstrong Williams, and you can catch the Armstrong Williams Show Saturday mornings at 10:30 right here on WJLA 24/7 News. Now, coming up, the price of protesting. Should protesters have to pay to exercise their First Amendment right? The debate straight ahead. But before we go, small business employers are the focus of today's number of the day. 63% of these employers rate the economy as good or excellent. The percentage is the result of a recent poll by Job Creators Network and Rasmussen, and is also about 10 points higher than the national average in recent weeks. 40% also said they believe the economy is getting better, while just under 20% disagree.